So last weekend, my mom tasked my dad with helping her to clean out the attic in my house that I grew up in. And I'm sure you could tell my dad was not very happy about that because the whole weekend was down the drain. And admittedly, if I was married, I wouldn't be either. But sometimes you gotta do it. So anyway, they clean out the attic all weekend. And then my parents asked me if I need this, right? Because they know all the stuff I do. And immediately this brought back a wave of nostalgia, so to say, of honestly some hard emotions to a very different part of my life. But what this keyboard is the first MIDI keyboard I ever got in my life. And it was a long, long time ago, way before I was doing any music stuff. I was catering the idea of doing music, and I thought it was cool, but I wasn't like confident enough to do it. Well, the reason why I bought it was because I saw a video on YouTube of Stromae. In this video was using a keyboard just like that, and he recreated his hit L'Ors en Danse.
So after that, I decided to use an NXT to have like a special 90s synthesizer. The melody is like this. So we record the sound. 2, 3, 4.
And I watched him play it and make the song in like 3 minutes. I couldn't believe it. And you know, as like I was maybe 11 at the time, and I played guitar growing up, I played piano growing up, I was involved in band in middle school. Both sides of my family are pretty musically inclined, both grandparents. So I see this video, and you know, I'm at the tender age of 11. I'm like, holy shit, like this is what I want to do with the rest of my life. So I go on Amazon and I type in MIDI keyboard, and I find this little Novation one right here. And you can tell how old it is too because the keys turn yellow. It's been sitting up there forever. You might be asking, well, Mark, I didn't know you've been producing music for 14 years. It's because I have it. So when I got that, it came with a trial for Ableton Live 8 or 9, probably, because this is in like 2011 or 12 or something. I don't even know. And so I download the trial. I open Ableton for the first time. I hook up my little MIDI keyboard. I'm like, yep, about to make a house banger. And that obviously did not happen. And my whole world shattered because I saw somebody do it very easily, you know, on YouTube. I learned rather quickly that it was not that easy, even if it seemed to be that easy. So I might have watched like one video on YouTube of how to use Ableton or whatever. Yeah, I quit basically because it was too hard. And it really bothered me because I still thought music was really cool and making music was really cool because I was really like, this is around the same time that like Skrillex was coming out and Avicii was really blowing up and deadmau5 was kind of like running a lot of that like club house scene. And I was so young and so impressionable. I just thought it was so cool to see these people in their room just making club hits, you know. And now in the year of 2024, everybody's doing that. So it was really special for me at the time because I was just so enthralled by the idea of making music like that. So let's fast forward a little to high school. I wasn't the best student in high school. I wasn't the worst student either. I just didn't know how to care about learning, so to say. But I did have this physics teacher named Joel, so to say. I don't want to say his actual name, but Joel, his name was Joel. I didn't really understand physics at all, and he was definitely like dubbed as the oddball teacher in our school. But going to college after that, I realized he was the most like a college professor for a teacher in high school, which looking back was really cool. He would start his classes with rambles and lectures about random stuff, you know, things that were bothering him. He would recommend us books to read, and obviously, you know, a class of 16, 17, 18-year-olds are just completely checked out, 7:30 in the morning, no one's paying attention. And he would always, in the one area of his whiteboard, he would leave a book recommendation up there all year, and he wrote, "Do not erase" next to it, so the janitor would never erase it. And it was a book called Mindset by Carol Dweck. And I have it right here. So when I graduated high school, I remember just talking to him, And he wasn't the only teacher, but he was definitely the one that made a super impact on me. Because I really enjoyed his class, even though I didn't do well in his class. I just liked him as a person. And he had really interesting stories and life experiences. He told me, he said, Mark, I need you to read this book. Can you promise me you'll read that book before you go to college? I promise it'll help you. And I said, okay. So I bought it on Amazon. This book is a research book, but it reads like a novel. So it's very easy to read. And it's kind of like, you know, in music, how we like A-B mixes, you know, back and forth. She kind of A-B's mindsets of people. So rather early in the book, in the first chapter, she kind of tells you that there's essentially two types of mindsets. You have a fixed mindset person or a growth mindset person. And I remember reading that for the first time and being like, oh shit, like I have a fixed mindset. Like I can't do anything because I'm just not allowing myself to do it. I want to say also before I go on, I understand that a lot of people have different life experiences and different situations and different things, but your mind is very powerful. So just never forget that. And I understand we're all different, but your brain is very powerful and your attitude to yourself is very powerful. So never forget, no matter what you want to do. This isn't even about music. This is just about like everything. Music is just easy for me to relate it to. So I'm going to read a short passage on page 16 under the section, is success about learning or proving you're smart? So this is a little bit in this section. We offered 4-year-olds a choice. They could either redo an easy jigsaw puzzle or they could try a harder one. Even at this tender age, children with the fixed mindset, the ones who believed in fixed traits in themselves, stuck with the safe puzzle. Kids who are born smart don't make mistakes, they told us. Children with the growth mindset in the group, the ones who believed you could get smarter, thought this was a strange choice. Why are you asking me this, lady? Why would anybody want to keep doing the same puzzle over and over again? They chose one hard, one after another. I'm dying to figure out these puzzles, exclaimed one young girl. So again, that's really the only passage I want to read from the book because I want you to read it. It's really good. And just to wrap my story up, when I was 11, fixed mindset producing. This is too hard. I can't do this. Ba, ba, ba. Stupid Mark. I can't do anything. I'm dumb. Was really how it felt. But I loved it. And it felt so real and like it felt so important to me. And then, fast forward, I actually started producing when I was 19. So about 8 years after that, I read that book. I was off to college. I went to school for a year. I hated college in Virginia. So I came back, and it was during that, in between of that summer, started after my first year and community college, is when I actually started producing, because a few friends from home were doing it. So I would hang out with them and watch them do it. I got that feeling again, like, ooh, yo, I want to do this. So, but I had that new mindset because of the book. And I remember downloading FL Studio and being like, oh, this is an investment in myself, you know? And that's the right attitude. Like I see all these people online that just want it now, want it now, want it now. And listen, I fall victim to it too. In the last 6 years, I've been all over the place just trying to figure this out. So it's not like it's just gonna be one answer. I'm just gonna fix everything. Of course not. But like, keep that core, you know. Like you got this. And it's like, what even is a timeline? You know what I mean? Like why? What is the race? What are we racing for? Who are we racing against? You know, these other people on Instagram or on Reels or YouTube? It's fucking stupid. Like, the whole point is to make music, right? If you want to be a businessman or a celebrity or like a professional influencer or whatever, I got news for you. There's a million other avenues you could take. But like, music is music. And I know I'm beating a dead horse. Everybody always says it, but like, oh, well, I actually kind of hate this, but it's like, oh, well, can you imagine if John Lennon and Jimi Hendrix and Kurt Cobain had to use TikTok and whatever? It's like, dude, just don't fucking use it. Like, if you feel that way, like, just put the music out. And that's what I've been doing this year compared to all the other years of me doing it. This year started, and I've re-put out Kook Soup, and I put out a bunch of songs I was sitting on last year because I realized I wasn't even, like, I was making it and I really liked it, but then I realized it was going to dead ears because I was the only one listening to it. So I wasn't really growing as an artist because the audience wasn't hearing anything new, but I was just in my head about all of it. So that's also why I want to make this video. I want to kind of explain that because I just dumped a shitload of music out this year already, and it's the beginning of February. But yeah, more to come. So anyway, that's what I wanted to talk about today. I hope my story had an impact in you. Please read Mindset by Carol Dweck. It is an incredible book. It's first time you read it, I recommend just read it cover to cover. But after that, you can definitely read it like by chapter, pick it up whenever you want. There's something for everyone. I promise you that. Like I really promise you. And you know what? Even if you're someone who is a growth mindset, maybe reading it and learning about people with fixed mindsets could also help you as well. Because I mean, I don't know. I come from the other side of that argument, so I wouldn't be able to tell you. But I can only imagine that it would be a rounding read for everybody involved to kind of add some clarity. So anyway, I'm still working on some new singles for the rest of February. I'm working on the album. I've been DJing. So that stuff is all moving and grooving and happening. I've been doing a lot of snowboarding, which is cool. So I'm kind of taking a break from writing a lot. And I'm working. So working full time too. So, you know, it's not all it seems to crack to be on Instagram ever for anyone. So I'll leave you with that. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. You know the drill. Subscribe, stream the music, blah, 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 whatever. All right. See you later.